So hi everyone, today I am doing an interview with Paula from the Page Turner Awards, and we're going to talk all about the awards and where they came from and all of that, so I'm very excited for that today. So hello Paula, thank you for your
Hello,
time today.
thank you for having me.
Thank you. So let's start. Tell me all about yourself and how you've sort of come to this point.
Well, my name is Paula Sheridan. I write historical thrillers under the name of Paula Wynne, Wynne. I started the Page Turner. I've got several writing businesses. I've got Page Turner Awards, Writing Goals, and Book Lover, and they all kind of surround books and reading and writing and helping authors and helping writers. So yeah, so lots of stuff, and I'll tell you more about the awards as we go through.
So your books, are you traditionally published, self-published?
Self-published. I've traditionally published two books, which are business books, and then I self-published five of my own books, and I've also got three writing books I've self-published, and two writing books which are traditionally published. So kind of a mixture between both. And I think because of that, I've seen both sides of, you know, the mainstream side of publishing as well as the self-published side. So yeah, so you know, I'm happy to be an indie author, but I'm also happy to be a mainstream author as well.
It was definitely something that attracted me when you guys reached out to me. I haven't mentioned I'm one of your judges, which is
Yes,
super exciting.
Say that.
So yeah, I'll be judging the book award, which is amazing. But yeah, when your team messaged me, I had a look, and I love the fact that you're so supportive of indies as well, because not all awards have that.
And this is one of the reasons. I set up the award. So I'll tell you about it now, because you did ask about that. My first novel, my debut novel, which is The Grotto Secret, I won the People's Book Prize because I've started putting myself out there as an indie, as an indie author. I started saying what books, what book awards can I actually enter so that my books can, get a little bit of kudos and see what I can get with my own books. And I entered the People's Book Prize in 2017. And I was thrilled that, I was a finalist, and then they asked me to come to London. At the moment I'm living in Spain. I'm in Malaga in Spain, and that's why you can see all the light around me. So it's a bit glary. We had just sort of moved over to Spain, and they asked me to come to London to this fantastic, book awards. And there was lots of people from the literary world there, and I could feel it was all a literary occasion, and there weren't any indie authors. But I was talking to some authors who were going to go down the indie author route on the night. Anyway, I won. I didn't know, and I sort of, my name was called up, and I was sort of sat there for a second or two thinking, who's that? And then realized it was me. My name was called up as the fiction winner. And I went up and I got my award from Sir Frederick Forsyth, which was the most amazing experience, having him sort of, come up and give me something. And normally I'm a very chatty person, but I just absolutely gummed up. It's because you don't realize that you've here won, a very prestigious book award. You kind of just don't, it doesn't sink in. Anyway, I did my speech and everything else. And then I started thinking, it would be amazing as an indie author if there could be, because this was all just book awards in mainstream. And I was thinking it would be amazing if there could be something for both. And I couldn't see a reason why there's a divide. And a lot of, people from the literary world would disagree with that because they feel that there's very much a divide. And I couldn't see the divide because I've been traditionally published and I've been indie published. So I started thinking about it more and more. And then a couple of years ago, I said to my husband, I've got this bug in me, and it's growing and growing, that I want to see if there's a way that, if there's other awards out there that, have something similar to this. So I started looking around, and I couldn't see any awards that were two things. First of all, a writing award as well as a book award. So for writing, it being unpublished manuscripts, and a book award being published work. And then also I wanted to see if there was something that sort of celebrated published writers as well as, you know, traditionally published writers as well as indie writers. And I couldn't find anything, Emma. There just wasn't anything around. And I thought there's no reason why these two very different parts of the literary world can't come together. And I started writing out. I wrote to several literary agents and publishers and said, look, I got this idea, 4 awards, you know, would you like to judge? And I was actually bowled over. Within a week or so, I had 5 or 6 judges saying, yeah, it's a fantastic idea. It's very unique. You know, I'm up for it. So I started working on this, and I started getting more and more judges, and then roped my husband in, and the two of us started, you know, working on it, because we've got other online businesses, and over the past 10, 15 years, we've won about 9 different awards, business awards, as you know, as entrepreneurs. So we thought, you know, and because it's a passion of mine, writing and you know, and helping authors and helping writers, we set it up. So last year was our first year, and we had about 15 judges, and I was very thrilled. We've had some fantastic successes, which, you know, I'll tell you about in a minute. But then, of course, you know, I was able to achieve, you know, this thing that they say is very, you know, unusual, is that I'm celebrating traditional work as well as self-published work. But at the same time, we have a writing award for unpublished writers or unpublished manuscripts, and you know, a book award for published manuscripts, and that can be for indie authors or traditionally published. And last year we had a mixture of both, and it was fun. And I still think that there's still definitely, you know, a fantastic route out there for authors and writers to be able to put their work out and get it into book awards.
Yeah, as I said, when I looked at it, I just thought, yeah, so often if I look at awards, I see something, oh, I quite like that, and as soon as I look, it's either no indies or no, like you say, not if it's already published, or not, and it's so it's lovely to look at this, and it's just like, yes.
Yeah, because I was looking for, you know, I was looking for all the kind of thing that you're talking about. I was looking for that for my own books, and I just couldn't find it. And also, I think what I started doing as well is, being an indie author myself, there's a lot of very valuable prizes that an indie author could win. And I thought, you know, for myself, obviously I can't enter, but the kind of prizes I would like to win, things like an audiobook production. I mean, that's like, you know, $2,000 worth of it. Most indie authors can't afford to put their books through an indie, you know, through an audiobook, or otherwise they put all of the money that they've earned from their books into it. So again, it becomes very expensive. And then publicity campaigns, another very expensive, you know, prize and a thing for an author to be able to do. So what I started doing as well, when I was looking for the judges last year, is I started looking for prizes that would be very good for indie authors, and things that I know myself that I would want to win. And so I started writing off to companies, and it was fantastic, because one company came forward. It was Kelly Renee from Spectrum Spectrum Audiobooks, and she said to me last year she will give one prize. She will award one audiobook. And when the judging came, she was back and forward. Oh, I like these, but I like these, and I can't decide. I'll take some of these. And eventually she had this huge list, and she started whittling it down. And she got to about 10. And then she said, I can't do just 10. These, you know, these other writers that are fantastic, and these stories that are really good. She was amazing. She gave 13 indie authors, 13 indie authors won an audiobook production. So that's just so amazing for an indie author. Of course, I wasn't in there, so my book wasn't in there because I couldn't enter. And then, so it was fantastic, because we had that. We also got some other fantastic prizes. We had 6 authors winning writing mentorship. So six authors are now, writers and authors are now going through a writing mentorship to help them towards getting a book published. We had 3 writers who haven't been published before, and they were represented. They won a literary agency representation, so that was very exciting as well. And we had 5 were published. So, you know, in our first year, we really and truly hoped that one writer would win a literary agent, or one writer would win the book, you know, a publishing contract, and one writer would win an audiobook production. And then all of these fantastic numbers were coming through and all of these successes, which really just goes to show that there is such good writing out there. And I've always felt that writers come from all walks of life. You know, I have this thing where I tell my team that you walk down a London street and it's all dark, and you just look up at different spots of light in like the middle of the night, and one could be somebody, a plumber writing, or a lawyer writing, or, you know, writers come from all walks of life, and they come from all cultures, and these stories, beautiful stories to be told, you know, from these different cultures, from these different walks of life. And so that's what we're trying to do with Page Turner Awards. We're trying to bring these beautiful stories in front of our fantastic range of judges, and see who can either win a prize or get celebrated in some way, you know, whether even if they don't win, even if they shortlisted or a finalist, they still won something in some way, because, you know, they've been their work has been pointed out and chosen as, you know, sort of rising above the rest. So yeah, it's very exciting seeing all of this.
I mean, when I looked on your website, you talk on there about how if you win sort of a traditional award, then you get kind of a sticker to put on your book, and obviously exactly. The thing to your name, I won this, which is amazing. That shouldn't be put down, but actually having something practical.
Yes.
Especially since, I mean, the whole thing of authors being rich, we're all rolling in it.
Yes, yes.
But actually, you know, these practical things to help finance getting your book out there or improving your writing is so valuable.
It is very valuable, and because of that, I mean, yes, we do give a badge. I mean, a lot of these awards give a badge, and there's you know, we're not knocking that at all, and it's perfectly fine, because the badge is great. You can put a badge on your book or your website or your signature, and you can say, I won this. So it is kudos. It is, you know, it is something to celebrate. But also at the same time, what we're trying to do is, because I know as an indie author, it's very expensive in so many different ways. So this year, what we're doing is we're giving a whole book trailer package. We've got book trailer and a whole visual marketing package, which will be great for authors who can't afford to put that together. You know, and that includes book design, book cover, trailer package, photography session, the whole thing. And then we're putting a book. We've also got a book promotion package, which comes from us, which is our other website, we've got a website called Book Lover, where we help authors to promote their books to our readers, and we've got a very big reader list. So we're going to be giving away a prize there as well, where indie authors can win you know, a book promotion package where they can get promoted to our readers. And then we've also got, which is very exciting for this year as well, we're putting it through Page Turner Awards, so it's nobody else has sponsored it, we're doing it ourselves, and we'll be giving one indie author their next self-publishing package. And it doesn't have to be an indie author, it can be somebody who's unpublished but wants to win this. So one prize will be somebody will get a full, you know, publishing package, and that will include an editor. We have a fantastic editor which we work with on the website, which is, you know, he's my editor and I've used him many times. So he'll do the editing of a book, and then we'll have a book cover design done. We'll have you know, a book trailer done, and then we'll market that book. So that will be a whole self-publishing package. So again, very, very, as you say, practical, but valuable for writers. So what we're really trying to do is trying to make it unique, that we don't just give, you know, things. We don't just say you've won. We're wanting to give some kind of help and some kind of high value, I think, you know, I'd say high value to the authors or writers.
Yeah, and I saw you're sponsored this year by Pro Writing Aid, is that right? Or was that?
Yes, we've got, Pro Writing Aid is our sponsor, and we're also working in association on the Book Award. We're working in association with Campfire. So Pro Writing Aid, of course, is the self-editing software, and Campfire is writing software. So yeah, we're very excited to have them both on board as partners with us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it sounds amazing. And so when was the awards ceremony as such last year?
Last year it was in October, and again it was such fun. It really was. And I'll tell you why, because we were in communication with these writers you know, on a regular basis throughout the awards, because another thing that we do, which is very unique on the awards, and I think this is more for the writers side. Well, we've got two sections. We've got, for the writer side, we give optional extras where they can have, because everybody only enters their first 10 pages. It's just, we don't have them entering the whole book because we don't expect our judges to take all that time to read the whole book. If anybody wants to, they can actually ask for the whole book, which is what 3 judges did last year when they asked to read the whole book, and then those were literary agents, and they then represented those writers. But from a writer's point of view, what they can do is they can ask for an optional extra to get feedback on their work, or they can ask for it in editorial feedback. So we offer that to writers, and then we offer optional extras to authors if they want to get feedback as well from our readers, and they can also get other bits of book promotion. So we're trying to make it different by offering these these various optional extras. We were saying about the ceremony. I was going to tell you the ceremony was great fun because because it was online, and we always planned it to be online, not just because of the pandemic, because it's a global award. It's not just for the UK, even though we're UK based but living in Spain. We wanted it to be global. And so we planned an online award, and my husband kind of really got buzzed up about it, and he really put the most amazing package together. And we had all these people. We invited 100 finalists, and it was lovely to see all the little faces on Zoom, all the little gallery of faces, because I've been speaking to these people, by email and newsletters, and I hadn't actually met any of them. So it was very exciting from that point of view. And it was also exciting because we didn't announce anything until that night. So as we announced everything, I was kind of on the Zoom controls, I call it the control room, and I was watching on the side, down the side. And as soon as I knew my husband was going to say, and this person's won, I quickly went and put the speaker on so we can see their faces. And it was lovely because we saw everybody going, winning, and somebody had champagne and corked the champagne, and we had people, some writers were sitting with their kids and family around them. So it was a lovely occasion, and it was very heartwarming, and very inspiring to see everybody in such full spirits, even in the middle of the pandemic, and seeing how it had lifted so many people and lifted so many writers.
Yeah, and I mean, that's great that you weren't impacted in the sense that you haven't planned a big event that then got cancelled. It was always online. So that's really good. Did you find that the pandemic impacted the awards at all?
No, but we did do a survey. We didn't find that at all. The one thing we were going to do is we were going to go to the London Book Fair, and just sort of, just for our own sake, just help, just hand out leaflets and tell people about the awards. And we were going to do that with Pro Writing Aid. But of course, London Book Fair was cancelled. So, but that didn't impact us in that it made us stall or pause at all. That wasn't the case. What we did do is we did a survey during the pandemic to find out if writers were writing more, or they were writing less, because we couldn't quite work out because they now had kids at home, does it mean they were writing less, or because they'd lost their jobs, were they writing more? So we did the survey to kind of try and find out, what it was. And it was quite amazing that it came through that most writers were finding more time to write, even though some sadly had lost jobs, but also a lot of them had children at home. But they still were able to find more time to write. And I think the reason for that is the reason for that is because the social time that people would have spent socializing in some way, either going shopping and then stopping for a coffee with friends, or whatever kind of social they, you could call it, any kind of social time they were then putting into writing. And because of that, writers were, overall, they were saying that they were spending more time writing. So during the pandemic, I think, we'll probably get a huge amount of stories coming out of the pandemic, probably a lot about the pandemic, I imagine. But I think also people, especially people who've always said, I've got the story in me and I'd love to write. And maybe that's what they did. Maybe they sat down and said, okay, now's the time to see about, becoming a writer. And I think that part of it would be lovely to see writers, new writers coming forth out of the pandemic.
I think you're right. I mean, I've heard so many interviews on podcasts and things like that where whoever's being interviewed is like, I wrote a book over finally writing that book. But as you say, it will vary. I mean, personally, because my youngest is very young, she's only 3. That's, you know, that is more of a challenge than if you have teenagers, or, you know, so
Exactly.
it's obviously
very. With teenagers, I think, you know, with children who are from sort of teenage or just possibly below teenage, where they are a lot more independent, you know, they can go and grab, if they're hungry, they can go and grab a banana, or you know, do themselves a pot noodle or whatever. So parents who've got older children, I think it's a lot easier for them. They can still work from home and they can still do a lot of things from home. You know, whereas parents in your situation with younger children, I think it's a lot more time consuming. And also, you know, a lot of parents had to start homeschooling, you know, so again, that's a lot of their time taken, because somebody has to do it. And of course, that falls on the parents. So
yeah, this is it. My eldest is at home. He's upstairs doing his homeschooling, but the youngest, I was like, no, you're going to have to go. So their dad's taken them out.
yeah.
No, I mean, that's really good that there wasn't, you know, a big impact, because obviously lots of things have been affected. So that's really good. So then this year's awards, you know, what have we got? What's exciting? What's new?
So what's new is, so last year we had the book award and the writing award, and this year we've got 5 awards. So we've got the book award, which is for any published work, and that can be mainstream or indie published, and as long as it's published, it goes under the book award. We've got a writing award, which is for unpublished, anything unpublished, but the writing award is unpublished and completed, so it must be a completed manuscript, because the judges judging the writing award are literary agents and publishers who are looking for completed manuscripts unpublished. So they have to be completed. Therefore, the you know, the literary agent, if they like it and they see this writing is good, they'll ask for the full manuscript, and therefore, you know, that writer could go on to become published. And then we've got a writing mentorship award, which is for unpublished work, but it can also be uncompleted, because there's a lot of people out there who have an uncompleted piece of work. They might have written 3 chapters, or they might have a business idea, and as they've sort of started dabbling on some business idea, if they're an expert in a certain field, they might be writing about that, but they're not sure how to go, what to sort of do with it. Or the same as with a fiction, they kind of started it and not sure where the fiction story should go. And we've got 3 judges who are looking to mentor writers and help them along that journey, whether it's fiction or non-fiction. So that's a writing mentorship. And then we've got a screenplay award, and that's for film scripts. So that's for either somebody who's a screenwriter and they have a script and they want to put it forward. But it's also for a lot of indie authors who, because they don't have an agent, and the agent is not able to take that work to, you know, a film production company. So it's ideal. Again, this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for as an indie author. So it's for indie authors, then they have to just put that work into 10 pages of a script, and they can then enter their book. So they can enter any book, but they just have to turn that, you know, they can download some free software online and turn the first 10 pages into a film script, and then they can enter it into the screenplay award. And the judges on there are loads and loads of judges who are looking for films to option. So again, it's the kind of thing that, you know, me as an author would want. And you can't, you know, as an indie author, you can't get that because you don't have an agent representing you. So I went looking for film production companies that are, and I've got some more judges to add, but there are loads of judges who are looking for scripts to option. And I'm very excited because we asked Paul Michael Glazer from Starsky and Hutch, and he said yes. So we've got Starsky, the famous Starsky. He's one of our judges. So yeah, it's very exciting. We've got 5 awards, and all of them are very exciting.
And it's just opened for entries, hasn't it?
Just opened for entries a week ago. So yeah, so you know, already we've got some entries, and obviously we don't know how things are going to go. We don't know how many winners. This is the exciting part, is that we don't know anything until it gets to the point where, you know, entries close. And then it's the nail biting time, because then the judges start judging, and then, you know, hopefully a lot of them will come forward and say, you know, I want to see literary agents or publishers. I want to see the full manuscript, or, you know, or I want to see the film script. And then So, and that's the end of May, and then June, July, all the judging takes place. And once the judges start, and that'll be you as well. The judges start putting their scores together, and then we'll also start seeing, there's so many indie prizes, and we'll start seeing who's gonna win the indie prizes and what the judges come up with. So, yeah, it's exciting It's exciting first of all to see the stories coming in. But then it gets very exciting. It really steps up when the judging starts, and then we can really start seeing, some kind of results coming through.
That's amazing. I'm very excited to see what I get sent.
Yes.
Brilliant. I've written here to ask why should people enter for 2021, but I think we've covered it. There's so much.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think really from a writer's point of view, who they've either got a story and not sure where to take it, or they've got a full manuscript and writing out to literary agents and want to be able to find a literary agent or a publisher. They would be ideal going into the various writing awards. And I forgot to mention as well, the 5th award is the Young Writer Award. So for young writers, again, because last year we kind of made it that it was just sort of adult writers. And so this year we said, because we had a lot of writers sort of coming forward saying, I'm a younger writer, can I enter? And there are a lot of very talented young writers out there. So why can't we have them? It was no problem. So this year we've made sure we've got a separate award, and it's just for young writers aged between 18 and 25. Again, that's an award. It's not for young adult fiction. It's for writers who are young. They are young people who are writing a manuscript. So from a writing point of view, if a person is unpublished, they can enter those awards. And from a point of view of somebody who's published, who has a book published, whether it's mainstream or indie, they can enter the book awards, or they can also enter the screenplay award and hopefully get the film production company to option their work for film and take it further, and either work with them to finish the script, or otherwise get somebody else to write the script, or however the film production company want to take it. So yeah, that's really the reasons, is if somebody's passionate about their writing, and I think essentially all of that means to get discovered. So why would somebody write? Somebody would enter to get discovered. That's really what it's about, whether it's getting their writing published, being discovered, or whether it's taking their published work to another level.
That's amazing. Very exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah, it is very exciting. It's lovely to have you on board.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for your time. I will obviously put all of the links to everything to do with the awards, where you can enter, or your social media, and to your books as well. So that'll be in the description if anybody would like to go and have a look. So thank you very much, Paula. And
lovely. Thank you for having me.